Welcome back to the channel, and ladies and gentlemen, the atheists have done it. These absolute giga chats have destroyed religion forever by putting up a every theist stupidity. Basically, they're saying like this is all stupid things about believing in God. So with that being said, let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about the theistic perspective.
You deserve to go to hell. I will enjoy eternity in heaven, even though I know that you will be writhing and screaming in agony, and I worship the God that came up with that system.
Okay, so actions have consequences. Not your strongest argument, you know. But the first ones usually are not the strongest, right? I mean, logic dictates that obviously, if actions have consequences, then when certain individuals, criminals or just bad faith individuals, right, like their actions are examined by a supposedly just judge and they get consequences, you know, like we don't cry a billion tears for individuals in jail right now. We just say rip bozo, should have followed the law. Like when a guy's at a traffic stop and he takes off when the officer said, hey, like license registration, I mean, place to begins, place to prizes. So yes, the righteous are going to be very happy that the wicked be punished. Yes.
I know more about the origin of the universe than every single scientist on the planet. Women who weren't...
So, yes, the, like, I don't even know why that one's even a problem. I'm like, okay, like, by divine revelation, we make presuppositions, right? Because God directly communicates with his creation, and scientists with their limited resources and whatever they can use to study creation, they make presuppositions that generally seem to either A, be adjusted with time due to better tools, or B, just be thrown out because they find out they were wrong. So I mean, I don't see the problem here.
virgins on their wedding night used to be killed by having stones thrown at them. It was an appropriate punishment at that time.
Okay, yeah, like, yes, you like immorality, or I guess adultery, was seen as very bad. Impurity was seen, which I mean, that one should technically still be in the modern era. Man or woman. Yes, if you are a sexually immoral person, well, I mean, hey, you should face harsh consequences. So, what's the problem with that? Because it seemed like stoned for adultery. Yes, you're supposed to be pure before your husband, but you aren't. So therefore, off you go.
Homosexual people aren't worthy of the same rights as everyone else.
This one is a weird one. I've never understood this. What is the same rights as everyone else, like, that they don't have? Because I assume the only one they will be talking about is yes, like, some people don't think you should be allowed to marry, and given that marrying is obviously before the priest and whatnot, I mean, that makes sense, right? If marriage is a particular way that's been set up, then obviously you deviating from that with a different dynamic should be called something else. But again, like, that's like, what does it have to do with rights? Like, what do people not think that homosexuals should have food, water, the right to life, or something like that? Or I don't get it. What are we talking about?
Anyone who doesn't believe in God is a fool. It says so in the Bible.
Okay, what's wrong with that? Well, how does that make how is that stupid? Because it seems that there is a consistent through line of the smartest men and women on the planet being linked to a philosophy that appeals to theism in some substantial way that makes it obvious that some, like, again, some sort of enlightenment happened to these individuals. So I like, it does seem to prove that, hey, it's kind of stupid not to believe in God, because that seems to be like what influenced a lot of the craziest enlightened thinkers on the face of the planet.
Scientists are wrong about evolution, and I'm right about creationism. I know more than them.
Well, the problem, like, I think there's multiple issues with specific kinds of evolution. I believe, like, what macro evolution. I believe in like micro evolution. You know, like a little bitty adjustments in creatures can be demonstrated. But the idea of, you see this chicken, it used to be a big reptile dinosaur, and it's like, wow. So dinosaurs somehow develop beaks, and I'm like, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot for. Ah, yes. You see, monkeys and people, we have a common ancestor. Mm, mm. I do think that that could. I don't know about that.
My God thinks that you're worthy of nothing but eternal torturous damnation, and I don't dispute that.
Okay. But that's a weird way to position Christianity, right? Or dare I say any religion, because generally most religions will say we're all worthy of consequences, but because you, the individual who rejects the work that God has done, continue to go your own way, you will face that consequences. And so, like, the idea of my God says I deserve grace while you're good, like, why he says you also deserve punishment. No. That's ridiculous. That's just a straw man.
The slavery in the Bible was okay. What the slaves wanted is irrelevant. My God is...
Ah, yes, the slavery argument. Even though God's highest chosen followers are literally call themselves slaves, and so the idea of the idea of slavery in the Bible is this: God is the ultimate slave master. He is the ultimate, like, all of creation exists to please him, and he obviously exists to sustain creation. So the idea of God disagreeing with the concept of slavery, I think is a bit fallacious, but obviously he disagrees with unfair treatment. That's why you hear balanced scales in the Bible, do not oppress the foreigner, etc. All these various verses that demonstrate that treatment is what God is against. Dynamics, like, can be flexible, right?
real, and every other religion but mine has it completely wrong. Killing children has always been fine as...
Okay, so he says something about religion. My God is real, but every religion is false. Well, if something is true, then not everything can be true at the same time. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Then everybody saying 2 plus 2 equals any other number is wrong. So I mean, yeah, like, one religion has to be objectively right. Even atheism is a technically religion that just lacks a God. It's a rejection of the belief in any gods. Therefore, somebody has to be right, whether it's the theist, the atheist, or any other religion amongst the theisms.
As long as my God said to do it. I'm fine with women being told to...
I actually did not hear that last one, but I think it says something about harming children or something like that, and it's like, well, I mean, spare the rod, spoil the child. So I mean, it is what it is. But generally, I think it's probably taken out of context from that verse in Deuteronomy, where it's like, yes, your offspring can be stoned or something like that, like if they disobey their parents. But I think it's a bit more specific in cursing your parents. It gives them, like, obviously puts them in line of stoning, and obviously is it a, oh, you did this once, we have to kill you, or is it, no, clearly if you persist in sin until adulthood, so obviously the age of accountability, then clearly you must face harsh consequences. There's this sense of repetition in practice, and what's that word? I lose words so quickly. That word, my goodness. I just can't remember at this time. I probably remember and put the word on the screen, but it's basically when obviously you consistently go back to the drawing board when somebody fails, and you continue to try and work with them, but at some point, like, you got to be more, I guess, repercussions. But basically, yeah, like you don't just bully somebody. Basically, you don't just say, well, you got it wrong once, now we got to kill you. That's not how the law ever worked. But I guess, I mean, hey, you get strong at it if you say, well, my interpretation of the Bible is this.
Submit to their husbands. The infallible book that demands it is holy, in my opinion. People...
What's wrong with wives submitting to their husbands? What's wrong with that? I really don't understand that. Like, we look at men and we say, protect women, pay for everything, and listen to them. So why do they not get to listen to us? What's the problem with society? Let's see. People who disrespect God's prophets. Let's keep going.
Who disrespect God's prophets do deserve to be torn apart by wild bears. Those children.
That's a that's a it's funny, like when things are translated into the English, like you do see people take it very interesting, but generally uh there is some dispute on the actual recording of that event. Is it a traditional story that was kept? Because again, not all books are historical. Some, like, or dare I say, every event recorded is historical. Some events are recorded as sort of a traditional story that's, again, designed to teach people something. Then there's obviously the word for children in that verse, where it says where it's basically obviously talking a bit more about just young men, young individuals. I mean, hey, like the people still have a problem with it, but generally the idea is obviously cursing or Disrespecting God's servant does give you consequences.
Had it coming. I'm in communication with the supreme intelligence of the universe, so really, how likely is it that I'm going to be wrong about something?
Well, that's I literally have no religion, like no religion on the planet says that. I mean, what is it? The Jews got synagogues. Is Muslims got their their sheikhs? Is that what they call it? A sheikh? And Christians got their pastors, bishops, priests, all that good stuff. Like they got, like, everybody has that chain of command that is supposed to put them in subjection. So it's like, what are we doing? Like, what is that?
Shit.
You said a rude word! That is so offensive!
Do you mind?
Dare you
Children
say
might be
something
listening
like
to
that?
this.
Is obscene.
Why should we have
I
to
can't
put up with
believe you would
language
say
like
something
that? You have
so
to descend to that
offensive.
level,
I've
don't
never
you?
heard
Why do you
anything
have to
so
be
I
so
can't
rude?
continue this
What a
conversation if you don't
disgusting
talk like
thing to
that.
say.
And so that's the end of that.
You deserve
And so yeah, there are some Christians that will go crazy over bad words. Now, generally, I think that Jesus taught us that we should watch everything that we say, not merely just a quote unquote curse word or a swear word, but the Bible does speak against profane speaking, like not as the ultimate greatest sin, but as a sort of, hey, your integrity is obviously to the Lord, so therefore you gotta watch what you say, brother, or else obviously he's gonna hold you accountable. Again, like Jesus said it, like I put the verse on screen, every useless word you'll be held on the day of judgment to. But nevertheless, what's the deal with all this? Why do theists think the way they do? Well, I think it's very clear. Genesis chapter 1 verses 26-27 says, God spoke in the beginning. He said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, over the livestock, and over all the earth, and every creeping thing. So God made man in his own image. In the image of God he made him, male and female he created them. It's very clear. The theist's appeal is that we were made a particular way for a reason. We are held to a higher standard. Therefore, let us live righteously after the holiness of our God. If anything, that's famous to see what the chief apostle Peter said. First Peter chapter 1 verses 15 and 16, he said, but as he who called you is holy, you also be holy in all of your conduct, since it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. There is this sense about us that we were not made to be like the animals or the fish or just really any other thing. We were made to be righteous after the character of our God, the Lord Jesus Christ. And speaking of him, we'll end off today with a verse that pretty much makes it very clear that the law should be looked at from a certain perspective. You can't just go about these commandments or any of these situations in the Bible and think, well, I'm going to interpret them myself through my own lens. No, clearly you need a teacher. Clearly you require information to learn them rightly. If anything, that's actually something that Paul also said. He said the law is good if used lawfully, verse on the screen. So therefore you have to be careful. He also says something about we got to be careful about well, actually no, Peter right next to him said we also got to be careful in reading the Bible, because obviously you can read it wrong, and if you get the wrong interpretation, you condemn yourself, not the Bible. The Bible is true because obviously, regardless of just like the equation, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Regardless of whoever thinks it's 5, fish, 9, 11, 7, whatever, the answer still remains. And when the person who knows the truth, or dare I say, has the interpretation, holds you accountable, you best believe it's not gonna be pretty for those who thought they understood it, but then their minds are opened. If anything, I did a video on that recently about how your mind has to be opened about the scriptures, but that's another thing. Let's end off with this verse, which Jesus is asked, what is the greatest commandment? And he responds in verse 37 of Matthew 22, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and all of your soul and with all your mind. This is the great commandment. And the second is like it, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these 2 commandments depend all the law and the prophets. It's very clear that the way you interpret the Bible should not be for the sake of anything else but faithfulness to God and faithfulness to others, because loving God does not exclude loving others. It actually emboldens you to take care of your fellow man, because that's your country, that's your fellow, like your countryman, your fellow image bearer, and thus informing individuals about the truth with patience and reverence is the truth of the commandments. That is the whole entire point. So I get like these straw men of theist and atheist points are tragic. So I hope this did not convince anybody, because I'm like, Lord, that's just the most wet noodle arguments that I could spend hours just on videos just talking about it. But we're just gonna condense it onto this one because I just found it funny to just yap about. But with that being said, let me know what you think about these atheistic, these stupid things that atheists find stupid about theism. Is it really stupid, or do you think, nah, they don't understand religion? Either way, God bless and stay blessed, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.